East Bay and Oakland, California. Today, we're set for a good AFC matchup between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Oakland Raiders. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So here are the Steelers now to take over for the first time. They will be led out by a second-round pick in 2019. Out of Missouri, it's Drew Lock.
And his stat line last week, that's not going to get him to the Pro Bowl. All right, no touchdowns, no interceptions, but they won. And so the bottom line for him is team won, managed the game effectively, led them to victory. He's doing all the right things.
They'll run for the first time here with Brown. And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. Pretty much unreal, not just in terms of yardage, Charles, but also throwing the 3 touchdowns as well.
When you put the whole package together, I can make you a pretty good guarantee right now. He's going to see a few more people in the box every time he lines up.
Yeah, I don't think that the defense has any choice. They've got to stop him. Can't let a repeat performance like that.
Agreed.
First carry for James Conner, and he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 7 yards there and a first down.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
On first down, Brown. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, said he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about. Continuity, rhythm, number of carries. Just keep giving it to him.
Only a yard on the pickup, so from a good situation on 2nd and 2, it's now 3rd and 1. And let's take a look at the Steeler offense.
Out wide was the youngest player in the NFL in 2017, Juju Smith-Schuster. And he also had the longest reception in the league last season at 97 yards. Actually well-schooled in route running and able to run from both outside and moving inside to the slot position in order to make big plays.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first. If you make the stop there, maybe you hold him to 3 on this opening drive. They didn't get the stop.
Yeah, new set of downs now. Now you're worried about, just as you pointed out, not just giving up 3, possibly giving up 6. Let's see what they decide to do here because they've got to change up what they have been doing. It hasn't been working.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. On first down, Lock. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Reuben Foster, the former national champion at Alabama, gets in for the sack.
And that's their first sack of this game, but how about last week? 6 sacks, great coverage downfield, which helped that pass rush. They are really working in sync right now.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Lock now to throw. And his throw here's incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
On 3rd down, Brown. They get 15, but they still needed a little bit more. 4th down.
This offense really put themselves in a tough spot on 1st and 2nd down and needing long yardage to try and pick up a first down. And they ended up getting a great run. Explosive, picked up nice yardage. You don't expect to be in this situation on 4th down. But guess what? It all started with what happened on 1st and 2nd down. Really put them behind the 8 ball.
And on their first drive, the offense staying out there. They're going to go for it on 4th. Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line. They only got a couple, but a couple's all that they needed as they convert on 4th.
10-2, sir.
On 1st and 10 is counter. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. The former All-Pro Marcel Darius brings him down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Mike 58 right there. Switch up. Hey, Sam off. Go, go. Shoot.
On 2nd down, it's Brown. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. They lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
How about that, partner? That happened in a hurry. Sudden, explosive, gets into the backfield, and spills the play.
And he was AFC Defensive Player of the Week last week because of plays just like that. The 13th play now coming on this opening drive. Here's 3rd down. Throwing his lock on 3rd down. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. Cleveland Farrell in there yet again. What else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks. Charles, a little bit of feast or famine on this drive. They moved the ball okay, but they've been sacked twice now.
And they got to figure out how to plug that leak a little bit, right? Keep them away from the quarterback because when he's not being hit, as you mentioned, they're moving the ball well.
Well, he had that one on target. That's half the battle. The other half of the battle, however, is distance.
And he nearly had that, too. But it was the crossbar that said otherwise, and that'll deny him a shot at 3.
So the long field goal misses, and now the reverse. You're in a tough spot defensively. They'll start the drive at the 43. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered.
Try to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Lane, and they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. Defensively that time, they were in zone coverage. As a rookie QB, what lesson can you learn there?
Well, understand this. You saw zone in college, and the defensive backs reacted, but they don't react like they do on this level. So when they're in zone and they see the ball coming to them, they'll react at least a half a second faster. You've got to know where you want to go with the ball and be decisive with it. Otherwise, the end result can be something you don't like.
Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A very solid gain of 27. So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory. Down at the 33. Block now on 1st down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
That was their 3rd sack of the ball game. 2nd in the league in sacks coming into this one. They're planning on making it a race to the top, aren't they?
Absolutely. They're looking up at that top spot, but they might be looking down at the 2nd spot pretty soon. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. The 2nd down attempt there knocked down as it leaves the quarterback's hand, and it's incomplete. And give credit to Reuben Foster, the linebacker, getting a hand in to disrupt.
I remember growing up playing basketball. My coaches always talked about communicating on defense, making sure you talk on defense, know where your screens are, know where the cuts are coming from, who has who. But guess what? It's the same thing in football. Even though there's more noise out there, you can hear all the screams of screen, screen. This defense, the bench, everyone let them know what the play was, and that's why they were able to react and knock the ball away.
Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, it's working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Got his man. That's Tyrell Williams. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop, but that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
3-0 after one on EA Sports. So 3rd and 2. This quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. Trying to run for it with Jacobs. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
Well, partner, what do you think? Might have been 4-down territory if they didn't pick it up, but...
Yeah, it's a moot point now. I was curious, so if they didn't get it there, would they have gone for it? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we didn't have to make that call, but I have a feeling both...
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. T.J. Watt leading the surge there as he drops him for a loss of 6. Coming off the line, he's been wreaking havoc all year. And look, that's why, as a result, he's getting some looks for Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL.
And I know that many people don't have him first on their list right now, but he deserves that type of consideration. You mentioned it. All year long, he's made big plays and continues to do so. Imagine if he has a big game here. If so, he could vault himself right into the #1 spot.
The Steelers now in the nickel here on 3rd down. From the gun, Williamson throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he's going to get this to the 31, but that is still well short of what he needed. 6 yards on the pickup, and that's going to make it 4th down. He's fresh off that 3-touchdown performance last week that got him AFC Offensive Player of the Week, so you know that he was already on their radar. Now he's maybe even a bigger plane on their radar.
Bigger plane. I mean, he is the big dot on that screen that they're looking at and saying, how in the heck do we stop him? They're going to try a bunch of different things, different people covering him, but right now he's locked in and is in sync with his quarterback.
And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. They will toss to Brown. It's a 6-yard pickup to get him back to the original line of scrimmage with 3rd down coming up.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
And the Steelers on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 10. Open man, Smith-Schuster. It's complete. That's a 1st down with a cherry on top. 31
plays. Let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. Here's Connor. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Corey Littleton there on the tackle.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because when they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Topper! 36! Bang, 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 bang!
Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter.
Ready? 30 base. Look at me. Go. Switch it. Come on, switch it. Now.
On second down now. It's Brown. And they go backwards here. Losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up third down. Well, he had 2 sacks earlier. Now he has 4 total tackles for a loss after that play.
Well, they obviously have to do a better job trying to block him. But short of that, you know what the quarterback has to do? Make sure he doesn't hand it to him when he's back there thinking he's one of his own guys. His quickness, his suddenness, his speed getting into the offense's backfield has been something else in this game.
To throw on third down. Block. And he'll find Galladay. That's complete. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 31-yard line. Seems as if the passing attack's starting to heat up a little bit here in the second quarter.
You can sense and you can see the momentum because now they're reading their patterns downfield, they're understanding the coverages, and they're finding the open holes in the defense.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Check 26. 5.
Here's Brown. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
On second down, Connor looking for space. And he'll be brought down at about the 25 after a pickup of 4.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on run downs. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
The Steelers on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. On the toss, this is Jim Brown. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. A 5-yard loss there is going to bring up 4th down. He came out ready to play. That's 3 tackles for a loss, Charles, only in the second quarter.
And that's problematic for the guys trying to run offense because that means he's got a pretty good idea of what they're doing and is actually beating them to the point of attack and making those plays. You might have to think about some misdirection or something to try and get him away from the ball.
So we're trading first-half field goals. No breakthrough on the touchdown front. Got a 6-3 game.
Yeah, and I know so many people look at a game through offensive eyes, right? They want to see how the game's played that way. You know how I'm going to view it, right? The defenses, to me, have responded well in this game. Like what I'm seeing from them, both of them hoping to keep it to field goals and not give up big touchdowns.
Tyrell Williams heading back out onto the field now. Well, he's within shouting distance of a 1,000-yard season. Going to need a pretty good finish, though, if he wants to reach that mark.
Well, I like how you phrased it, partner. He is within shouting distance. If he stays on this pace, he's got a shot at it. But he needs a big game in there, right, to make sure that he gets it. So you know that during the week, in practice, and look, he asks for the ball all the time anyway. He's really going to ask for the ball and let his quarterback know he's open. And coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting into the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
We get slap happy up here sometimes. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Operating from the gun. Williamson throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Throwing again. Williamson, open man, Higbee, the tight end. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47. The reception good for 7. It's third down. And this is going to be incomplete.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. We're in the second quarter. They've got the lead. The lead, though, not so much because of the ground game, because of their air attack, Charles.
So what they're seeing so far is the possibility of things loosening up later in the ground game. Through the air first, maybe they have to start respecting that even more as the game goes on, and then there will be running lanes to find later.
Yeah, try to get him more involved here on this drive, maybe. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. Block will try again on second down. Going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's third down.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they did incompletions on first and second down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
On third down, Brown. Big hold to the 30. Cuts right. Cuts it. It's a foot race. The 30. 10. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. A big play there. 81 yards. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. And with that carry, he's already over 100 yards here in the first half.
And, partner, you know exactly what he's saying to his teammates right now, right? Especially to the play caller.
Give me the ball.
Again, and again, and again. It's not that heavy, sir. I'll take it.
McManus's point after is good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
So from the 36 now, first and 10. From the gun, Williamson. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. Devin Bush, the linebacker, was the one there in pass coverage.
When you see passes knocked down by those guys I call the frustrated fullbacks, the linebackers, you know that in their zone coverage, they were able to drop, see the ball thrown, and react to it very quickly.
On on third down. Williamson. Got a man. It's complete. Williams. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46. Back to throw. Williamson. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. To throw again. Williamson. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Williamson. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And he'll get this up near midfield, but that's still a few yards shy of the 1st down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
Face mask. Defense.
Charles, did I just hear that right? They declined the personal foul. 3 yards, they just declined them.
And I have to think that the official is thinking to himself, did I just hear that correctly, that you declined that one? All I can think of is that someone on the field got confused. Because they had to, because you're going to take the yards on that penalty each and every time.
On 2nd down, it's Brown. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. So we reach halftime here, and just like that, on we head to half number 2. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Off play action. Williamson. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield. Complete. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
That play was well covered. Just tried to check it down. Unfortunately, not able to find any yardage on that one.
On 2nd down, Jacobs. And from the 15, they're able to work this up to the 20 for a pickup of a handful. Now it appears we have a Steeler here slow to get up. We'll take a break and get a report from Oakland after this. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Looking to throw. Williamson going up top. And he bats it.
Continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. And now it looks like he's in some discomfort after being tackled at the end of that return. We'll take a break and get a report from Oakland after this. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we've got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
They'll run on third down with Brown. And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the first. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point. Going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
58, come on. Watch the curve. Rock it.
They fake the handoff, now Locke. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Cleveland Farrell able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon.
And that's his second sack of the game, but this player, disruptive in all phases, whether he's going upfield, coming underneath, you name it. He's a big-time guy you have to block.
On second down now, it's Brown. 8 yards here, so that gets him back within striking distance. And now it's third down.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
On third down, it's counter. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
The Raider offense now making their way toward the huddle. Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes the better punter may actually determine the outcome.
They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. You and I watched film yesterday, and you told me to watch his feet. Well, for whatever reason, his footwork just looked off on that throw.
And you always love it when an ex-defensive back talks quarterback mechanics, right?
Well, but you're good at it.
Well, I try, all right? I don't know how good I am, but it doesn't take much to tell. His mechanics are off a little bit, exactly what you described. Footwork, that led to the incompletion.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. He's going to find and complete it to Renfro. And they will rally and stop him short of the first down. They get him to the ground at the 26. A great job there, Charles, just to hold on, absorb that contact. I guess that's the risk you take catching the ball toward the middle of the field.
It is, and if you're going to gain yardage, you're going to have to go there at some point. But how about the read, okay? The eyes of that play, stepping out from the middle of the field and really making a big hit. Did not.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. This is counter. Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
On 3rd down, Brown. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. It's a 7-yard run, but it does bring up 4th down.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turn around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge? Whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end in the direction they want to run the football. If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
And now here come the Raiders. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Looking for more there on 1st down, but this throw downfield, incomplete. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Throwing again. Williamson, the open man here, Renfro. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
On 3rd down, here comes Jacobs. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. A pickup of 10, and it's enough for an Oakland 1st down.
How about that run? Picks up a 1st down. Note the enthusiasm in my voice. Remember, last week, AFC Offensive Player of the Week. I think he's trying to get another one in the fold.
And you talked, watching film, a lot about his form and just hitting the hole, running north and south, as we like to say. And I think he's been doing that a lot recently.
Squaring those shoulders and getting downhill.
On 2nd down, it's Jacobs. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. We're off to the 4th quarter here in Week 15. Happy holidays to all. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. 2 1st downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10. From the gun, Williamson. And his throw's going to be incomplete. He was in search of his tight end, Tyler Higbee, but it'll be 2nd down. He started out having some troubles back in the first half connecting with his receivers. Really hasn't gotten a whole lot better.
Yeah, he's at less than 50%, and you and I both know that just won't do. So I would think about spreading things out, putting it on the receivers, make them win those one-on-one battles on the perimeter and find their way open.
And they're going to have themselves another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 36.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. That one good for 13 and a Raider 1st down. I tell you, they didn't give it to him much through the first 3 quarters, but when they have, he's been efficient. Maybe they ride him more here down the stretch.
Yeah, not sure it was actually in the game plan for him to have as few carries as he has, but it might play out really well for them now. As you noted, if they want to ride him down the stretch, he should have fresh legs.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
On 2nd down now, it's Jacobs. And he'll take this one down near the 15. Only a yard in the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd down and 2. Let's go, D. Let's go.
Back to throw. Williamson able to find Waller. That's complete. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Darren Waller, his first touchdown on the year, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. So with the Steeler offense on their way out, let's take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. On second down, it's Connor, and he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Running right, here's Brown. And he'll rumble for about 5, up close to the 40. I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use...
On second down now. It's Connor. He'll get about 3 as he's brought down right around the 42.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
And the Steelers on third down. They've converted 5 times in their many chances thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. They go with Brown. And he's got the first down, yardage before being taken down at midfield. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. Now a pass that's taken in by Smith-Schuster. The Steelers able to pick up 18 yards there. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
Now a carry for Brown, and he'll go down at the 26, following a gain of 6. Now it appears we have a Steeler here slow to get up. We'll take a break and get a report from Oakland after this. Under 4 to go now as they come up on second down. Now a handoff here to his running back. Now it appears we have a Steeler here slow to get up. We'll take a break and get a report from Oakland after this. The battle in the trenches never more important than right now. This is 3rd and inches. They'll try and run forward with Connor. And he gets this down to the 18, good enough for a first down. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
Well, they didn't accomplish their goal. They didn't get a stop there, gave up another first down. They have all 3 timeouts in their pocket. I think defensively, you got to start thinking about using them here.
I was just going to ask you at what point you think now is the go time?
I think now's the go time. I don't think you sit back and wait, because they can take a lot of time off the clock between plays and run 3 to 4 and really put you in a stressful spot.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on second down. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And they'll be facing a 3rd and 12. On third down, it's Brown. And he is going to be stopped at the 12, short of the first down. He gets a good chunk of yards there, 8 all told. But they're still looking at a 4th down. So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. The kick by McManus is good. We've got a 1-score game with inside of 2 minutes remaining. Back now on EA Sports. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So the Raiders now down on the scoreboard. Just under 2 minutes to go. They need a touchdown. A field goal is worthless now as they come up on 1st and 10. He's back to throw. Throw left side, taken in by Renfro. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up 2nd. On 2nd down, it's Jacobs. He's got daylight. He's at the 50, 30, 10, and all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Josh Jacobs, an 80-yard touchdown, as they are now just an extra point away from taking the lead here in the final 2 minutes. Now they can boot it through on the always important extra point, and then their defense has to hold up their end of the bargain.
And there's something that you've pointed out in numerous games that we've worked. Okay, the excitement's going on. Everyone's celebrating over there. Who's calling up the defense to make sure they're focused because they still have some work to do?
This one fielded at the 5. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Now it's the Steelers' turn, trailing by a point. 1:25 to play. They've surrendered a double-digit lead, but can rescue themselves late as they come up on 1st down. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They defer to Brown to start the drive. Darryl Worley up to make the tackle. Locke's trying to hurry him up with that clock running. Locke to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as it comes with exactly a minute to go in the football game. On 3rd down, it's Brown. And this play comes to a halt at the 33, and obviously that's well short of the 1st down. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down. Now the Steelers use the second of their 3 timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in quarter number 4. 1 score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. They'll go for it. It's Locke. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Cleveland Farrell and the Raiders with the football now in excellent field position. Well, their first 4th down attempt earlier was successful. This one backfires for a turnover on downs.
I like their aggressiveness. I like what they're doing. They got it the first time they went for it. Why not a second time? I don't think they'll be daunted from attempting it again. If you're on the defensive side of the ball, though, any 4th down stop is a big momentum play.
On 2nd down now, it's Jacobs. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5. So this one, a victory for the Oakland Raiders. And it took a big fourth quarter to do it, but bottom line, they got the job done.
Yeah, it is the bottom line, isn't it? A few anxious moments along the way, though. A few sweaty palms, not just for the team, but for their fans. As you mentioned, down going into the fourth quarter. How about the rally? How about the comeback? Getting it done on both sides of the ball, holding them when they needed to, and finding ways to get points when they had the football.
So for Oakland, they get back to 500 now as the win moves them to 7-7. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, the loss might knock them out of playoff contention as they drop to 6-8. And they'll try to turn things around next week as they have a matchup in Cincinnati against the Bengals. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.